Hi, great day. Great day. I am coming back to give y'all another truth. So last night I had a dream. It woke me up out of my sleep no later than I want to say about 3 a.m. To the point where I was like, I couldn't go back to I couldn't go back to sleep until after 5 this morning, well, this day. So I'm going to tell y'all about my dream and how God interpreted for me, and hopefully it's going to help you all some type of way. And I don't even know how it's going to help, but this is what God gave me, and I'm giving it to you. So anyone who knows about dreaming, you know that dreams, they don't make sense sometime at all. They don't have any respect of time, date, person, place, environment. They switch how they want to. You can be in one scenery one moment, and the next moment you in totally different scenery, and that's the way the dream works. So I'm telling you about mine. So it has more than one location, and so the dream first started off as me. It's like I was inside of this building. I was inside of this building now, and I can't even really make out what the building was or what the building was. I can't remember what the building was. I do remember seeing steps. I do remember looking like we were climbing up ladders, like different people were climbing ladders. I do remember that part. We were climbing ladders, and one, it's like I was coming off of a ladder, and as I was coming off of a ladder, I seen some people that they were familiar but yet unfamiliar, because it was something that I once wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I forgot that I wanted to do that. I want to do that. Like, I'm going to do that. So I left the space where I was, and I went over and I presented myself, and I showed a person that I can do it. Like, but I don't even think it was me. I saw someone else. But you know how it is in the dream. Sometimes you see and what's going on, so you thinking it is you, but it was, I don't know. But I was like, I can do that. So I presented myself to the person, showed them my qualities, showed them that I could do it. They was like, you got it. Like, it's you. This is what you should be doing. So I honestly, in that moment, I just quit what I was previously doing, and I went forward. And everybody, I could hear them saying, no, no, come back. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. No, 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 come back. But as I kept walking in confidence to go do what it is that I was doing, I started seeing people just jump into this hole. Like, it was like off the ladders, they was just jumping into this hole. Like, even the people that was up high, they was jumping off the ladder and jumping into the hole. The ones that was on the same level as me, they was jumping into the hole. And then this dream switched up. And then as the dream switched up, the next scene it went to is like I was getting ready to go into like a convenience store, a corner store. And I went to the first one. It was multiple people. I bypassed that one. But it was like multiple convenience stores next to each other. And these convenience stores was in a neighborhood that I was familiar with from my childhood past. But it wasn't, because there was so many more convenience stores on this street. So first one I nope, second one nope, third one nope. Got to the last one, and I didn't see any people. So I was like, okay, this must be it. Let me go in here. And when I went in, it switched from a convenience store to like someone's house or apartment that I went into. So I went in, and there was a guy that was there. He was nice looking, tall, brown skin, handsome. It was two young boys with him. And those two young boys, you know, they seemed to be happy. They were playing. They were entertaining each other. He was entertaining them. Either he was reading to them or just playing with. He was doing something with those two young boys, but not in a hurtful way. In a, you know, like a let's chill. You know, let's do the guy thing today. We doing us. So I saw him. He saw me, and it was attraction. It was a nice mutual attraction. I can tell that I was attracted to him. I could tell that he was attracted to me. I could tell that either it was something that was once there, or it was attraction. It was an attraction from both of us. But as I went around the corner, like, you know, when you're in an apartment, a house, and you go from one room to the next room, you go around the corner. And as I was going around the corner, because mind you, I had just left the room from where this man was, it's like he could sense that I was leaving, like, because I was leaving. I wasn't standing at one space. I saw him, and it was like, okay, I guess that was enough. I just needed to see. But I kept going, because I don't even know what my mission was. I was going. And as I was going, the man, it's like he a strong embrace went around my neck. Like I felt his hands around my neck. But it wasn't a troubling embrace. It was one of those embraces where it was passionate and loving and, seductive. But then I was like, no, 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 no. I still got to go. I have to go. And when I took his hands off my neck and I still was proceeding to leave, he put his hands around my neck again. But this time it was more dominance. It was more anger. It was more control. And like, you're going to stay. I'm going to make you stay. Like, you have no choice to stay. But like, you're going to stay. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And his hands were tight around my neck. So he had strength. He had power. But I had more power. Like, I took each one of his fingers and I just lifted them off my neck. And each finger that I lift off, it did not bend back down. So when I lift those fingers up, they had to stay up. Like, he could not put his hands back around my neck. Like, and once I did that, it was like I did it. And I walked away and the dream ended. The dream ended. Then I got up and I woke up because I'm never asleep. But then I rose and I was like, okay, what is that dream about? What was that about? Went to the kitchen, went through my house, checked on the kids because it's 3 a.m. I'm just checking on the house, checking doors, that type stuff. Got me something to drink. Came back to my room and sat on my bed and I'm like, okay, Father, no. I opened up my Bible. I read, what was it at? Where was I at? I want to say that my Bible was on First Kings. It may have been in First Kings that I was reading just in that moment. But I was like, I honestly hugged my Bible, y'all. I was like, Father, I don't know what that just meant, but I felt his hands on my neck. Like, I felt his hands around my neck. And I was like, I didn't like that one at all. So going forth, it's a new day. And I had still, like, what was this dream about? Like, what was it about? God said, this is what the dream was. This is how I interpret. Because he also took me back as I was asking him what the dream was about. He led me to Daniel. I was in the book of Daniel. And then not only was I in the book of Daniel, I was like, God, my mind just not at ease enough right now. Like, I need more than just that. Then he led me to a movie last night, which was this earlier, early a.m. He led me to a movie, which was Joseph. No, was it Joseph? No, it was Daniel. He led me to Daniel. Because Daniel was interpreting dreams. Daniel got thrown in the lion's den. Before he got thrown in the lion's den, he was leading up to, be the person that God intended for him to be. He was a good man. So it was just a lot of things that was going on with Daniel. So, after I watched that, then I was able to really just, okay, Father, thank you for clearing out that and put something in me that was of you. So got up, kept going forward, asking what it meant. And he was like, the first one, when you were in that building, you was in that place and you would climb those ladders and you would get off the ladders and, it was people there. He said that ladder was just you progressing through life. Like, you had to get to that place where I needed you to be. Like, you would climb those ladders because you were growing. And me, each ladder you climb was your different levels that you were growing. Glory to God, because he's giving me more insight now. He gave me this early, but it wasn't as much detail like he's doing right now. He said that you were growing in those different levels, like you had to go up those ladders in order to get to where I needed you to be. And when you saw something that you knew was for you, you didn't hesitate to grab it. You didn't hesitate to say, hey, this is for me. This is where I belong. He's saying that's important and where I have you to go. Where I have you to go, like, you need to know who you truly are. So I said, okay, Father. He said, and all those people that was jumping off, those were people who were sad to see you leave. Those were the people that was trying to keep you there. Those were the people that just wanted you to stay on those different ladders, going from ladder to ladder from ladder, not really understanding that you already had a ladder in a designated time that you were supposed to stop climbing and be satisfied with where I have you. Father, thank you. Thank you. And be satisfied with where I have you. So I said, okay, Father, Thank you. So then um, the store, the store said, God, that was a little trick. The store was God was like that. That man who had his hand around your neck was a man that was trying to forcefully and seductively keep you bound in a situation that you were supposed to be free from a long time ago. He said, but you finally gained your strength. You finally understood who you were, and that's how you were able to easily free yourself from him. He said the first go around, yeah, it felt seductive. It felt good. He said, because that's what you were used to. That's how he kept you. He kept you in that place of being in seduction. That's where he wanted to keep you for a long time. And he kept you there for a long time. He said, but you freed yourself because you found your power. You found me. You found exactly what it was that you were supposed to be doing and needed to do. He said, so now you are free to go forth. He said, and just like Daniel, and when he was thrown in that lion's den, he kept faith. He kept me with him. Before he went in, he had faith because he was praying to me before he went in. And when they went and told on him and he came out, when they went and told on him and he was thrown into the den and he came out, he still had that faith. And he said, now your dreams that you are having, you're going to be able to interpret those dreams way more because you're no longer in a seductive state. You're in a peaceful state. You're in a place where you know where you belong. You know who you are. You know who I am. And this is what we are doing together. He said, so just like Daniel, he said, I have been preparing you for a long time. He said, yes, they came against you. Yes, they lied on you. Yes, that lion den didn't look good. He said, but guess what? While you were in the lion den, I closed the mouth of so many of your enemies. I closed the mouth of so many of the lions that were around you. I kept you fed. I kept you covered. I had the angelic angels there with you. He said, so it was nothing that you needed to fear. He said, even though you were there and before you found all of your strength, he said, you feared, but I was there. He said, you worried that the lion was going to attack you and eat you. He said, but I was there. I was there the whole time. He said, so nothing could ever happen to you. You were never supposed to lose. You were never supposed to be eaten. You were never supposed to be destroyed the way that like the men who told the king in regards to Daniel that he was praying and serving another God. Just like the king threw those men and their families and their children into the lion's den and they ate their bones and they cracked them and they made a meal of all of those people. God said they were never going to make a meal of you. You were never supposed to be crushed. He said, so while you were worrying and fearing that was going to happen to you, he said that was never going to happen to you. You were never supposed to be that person. He said, but yes, you did need to be thrown into the lion's den. He said, because it was a lot of people who wanted you in that den. Matter of fact, where's my Bible? Because God, last night, as I was reading that, God said that you are no longer in the lion's den, that you are free, that you are out. He said, but now that you are out, it's a lot of people that are mad that you made it through the lion's den and that you came out of the lion's den. But have no fear, I am with you. God told me that last night. He said that earlier this day, he said it was a lot of people. He said they went and told, you get what I'm saying? They told and they threw you in that lion's den, the reason that you were there. He said, and they are so upset that you came out. You came out of the lion's den and you were not eaten. You were not destroyed. You were not harmed. He said, and they do not like the fact that you're out of that lion's den. But glory to God, I am out of the lion's den. I'm out of that seductive state. I'm out of that. And I'm still praising. I'm still glorifying. I'm still honoring. I'm still speaking the truth. I am still speaking the truth. So thank you all for listening to my truth. Know that I love myself. I love you all. Love yourself. Enjoy. Great day.